Georgina, this whole debate about beef, scare campaign, many say, we're being told in Britain Australian beef's full of hormones. But of course, we're not going to send all of our beef there, just the high-end beef. That's not a market distortion. Surely that won't stop this deal going through.
No, I highly doubt the deal won't be stopped going through. I have full confidence that a high-quality deal will be done. Dan Tehan was in the UK just last month with the UK's Trade Minister, Liz Truss. I understand they had extremely positive talks then. This is a last-ditch effort by the farming groups, particularly in Scotland and Wales, who are concerned about this sort of idea that there'll be a deluge of Australian beef coming into the UK and it'll decimate the UK farming industry. Well, the truth, that could not be further from the truth. The reality is that Australian beef producers send their beef mainly to closer markets, of course, the Asian region. There will be great opportunities for Australian producers in the UK if we get full tariff-free access, which I fully expect we will do over the next few days. There should be an announcement, and let's hope then the PM can go and sign the deal in June, in next month at the G7 when he attends that in person. But look, it's the usual sort of scare campaign you get from these interest groups, and as you said, it'll be the high-end, really high-quality beef that will be worthwhile for Australian producers to send all that way to the UK into their high-end restaurants, I expect.
I want to play a quick grab, Corey, from a former EU politician. He's a Brit. He's now a Conservative peer. He's a great friend of Australia, Dan Hannan. He was sticking up for us last night on the BBC.
We are not opening our markets to Australia as a favour to Australia. We're opening our markets as a favour to ourselves, which may happen incidentally to benefit some Australian... Well, hang on. How is it a bad thing to be getting high-quality, more diverse products at an affordable price from around the world? And I just cannot understand how the NFU can say that we should have tariff-free and quota-free trade from every EU country, but not from anyone else. That is a completely illogical position.
So, Corey, they've been too long under the apron strings of the EU and they're finally getting a bit of self-respect. Dan Hannan's leading the charge there, but they should just be signing this deal, thank their lucky stars. It's a good friend like Australia giving it to them, and just get on and make some more.
Of course they should, and Dan Hannan is a friend of freedom and always has been, fighting to get out of the yoke of the EU. And of course the problem is all the bureaucrats hate that. They hate the idea that there's going to be competition for European meat and things. And in the UK, they should be celebrating the fact that there is diversity and people will be able to have a choice. They can make the choice of the local product or they can choose international beef. And choice gives people freedom, it gives them opportunity, it provides competition, and that drives down prices to make even better deals for consumers. That is the evidence, Peter.
Corey, Georgina, just a quick comment from you. I started the show talking about the likely moves of all the mandarins, all these departmental secretaries after the DFAT. Foreign Affairs Secretary is now going to be a New South Australian governor. Who do you think is going to get the job in DFAT?
Look, that's the $65 million question. Lots of my former colleagues are, speculating. A lot of names have been thrown about. I think Greg Moriarty's been quite a popular name I've heard around the traps. He was is a very, very popular senior public servant, an extremely highly regarded ambassador when he was in Indonesia, and very, very much a friend of the regions. I think having a strong departmental secretary for DFAT will be so important at a time when our relations with China are obviously at a real low point, but also we need that leadership from Foreign Affairs that I think has been, when it comes to the discussion among departmental heads across Canberra, I think DFAT's voice hasn't been as strong as it has been in the past, and I think finding someone who has great vision and strategic leadership and a good relationship, of course, with the Minister and the Prime Minister will be incredibly important. And I think someone like Greg Moriarty would be ideal.
Yes, we'll see what happens. I've got a double whammy for you, Corey. This idea that there's going to be this criminal investigation, or certainly a look into former President Donald Trump's company. Attorney General Letitia James, she's a Democrat, is saying that there must be an investigation whether the Trump organisation falsely reported property values. I want to know, one, any legs to that, or is it, more in the sort of witch hunt territory? And also this Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot, she's been called a racist because she's announced she'd only grant one-on-one interviews to journalists of colour in protest at the lack of racial diversity, she says, in the Chicago press corps. What do you make of those?
Well, the first issue is Lori Lightfoot. I consider that decision racist. You are basically excluding people on the colour of their skin from their professional careers, and I think that is objectively abysmal in anyone's thing. And put the shoe on the other foot. If any of us said we're not going to take a one-on-one interview with a person of colour, we would be howled out of town, quite rightly. Secondly, Donald Trump, of course it's in his interest to minimise property values, but will he have broken the law? No, it's a witch hunt. They should be going after Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's dealings with China and the Ukraine.
Just, Georgina, very quickly, I've run out of time, but Apple appears to have ceded control of a number of its operations in China to the Communist Party, the Chinese Communist Party, according to a bombshell investigation by the New York Times. This is a real worry.
Well, it is a worry, Peter, but it's actually the reality of doing business in China. And when the same type of issues faced Google about 10 years ago, Google just pulled out of China. You can't access Facebook in China. So if you want to do business in China, you have to realise that you're operating under their legal system, and they operate a security state. So they're going to expect access to your servers and your information. Now, some businesses are okay with that, some not. It would appear that Apple is okay with that, and I guess you've got to, as a consumer, decide whether you're happy with using Apple products if you're in China.
The Apple kowtow. Will you make your decision, consumers at home? Georgina Downer, Corey Bernardi, thank you for your time.